Hello everyone! Today in this video we are going to discuss how to print an equilateral triangle using any character. Let's go into the video. First, let us analyze this pattern and see how many spaces and how many symbols are being printed in each row. So, here we can see that in the first row, that is the 0th row, there are 4 spaces and 1 star. In the second row, we have 3 spaces and 3 stars. So if we see the pattern, the spaces are being decreased and the number of symbols or stars is being increased. By observing this pattern, we can derive formulas for number of spaces and number of symbols in a row. So here, if we take n as number of rows, the total number of rows, and I as the row number, then we can say that number of spaces in each row is n minus I minus 1. So if we take for the 0th row, the number of spaces will be n minus I minus 1, that is 5 minus 0 minus 1, that is equals to 4. And for the first row, we can take that 5 minus 1 minus 1, that is 3. So in this way, we can derive the formula for the symbols also. If we observe the symbol pattern, the numbers are odd numbers. So we can say that 2 into I plus 1 will be the formula for symbols. So here if we take for the 0th row, 2 into I, where I is 0. So 2 into 0 is 0 plus 1, that is 1. For the first row, 2 into I, where I is 1, 2 into 1 equals to 2 plus 1 is 3. Like this, we can derive the formula and use these formulas in our code. Now let's write the code to print this pattern. So we are going to see 2 methods of printing this pattern today. One is printing the pattern by taking 5 number of rows, and in the second one, we'll take the number of rows input from the user and then display the pattern. So let's start with the first one. As usual, we include the header files first in the C, and then we write the main function. In the main function, to print this pattern, we use 3 variables I, j and k. So, we are writing one for loop to run through the rows from I equals to 0 to I less than 5, I plus plus. So in this, we run 2 for loops. One is to print the spaces and one is to print the stars. So for the first one, we run the loop from j equals to 0 to j less than 5 minus I minus 1, as we discussed before. And we print a space. We use printf function to print the spaces. And then we write the loop to print the stars from k equals to 0 to k less than or equals to 2 into I plus 1. We'll print the stars using printf function again. And after writing the 2 loops, we write a printf function to go to the next line. So now let's run the code. And our code is compiled without any errors, so we can go ahead and run the code. So if we run the code, we can see that our pattern is printed. We have a 5-row equilateral triangle here. So now let's see the second method of printing, that is taking input from user and printing the equilateral triangle. So in this code, we'll need 4 variables in the main function. Let's take I, j, k and n, where n is the input taken by the user, like we'll take the input from the user. So now to take the input, we use scanf function. Before that, we use a print function to display a sentence that to enter the number of rows. So then we can scan the input given by the user using scanf function, and then we'll store the input given by the user into the variable n. And in the same way, like in the previous method, we take 3 for loops. One is for the row. The first for loop will run from I equals to 0 to I less than n. Inside that, we run 2 loops. One is for j and one is for k. So in the same way, we just replace 5 with n. And we can print the spaces and stars. And if we compile this code, and then we can run this code now. So we can give input as anything. Suppose let's give input as 5. Yes, we have got the pattern here. And let's try another number. Now let's give the value as 7. And we got the same pattern with 7 rows in it. So in this way we can take the input and print the number of rows given by the user also. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel.